Alright, here's the mess here. Okay. Let me tell you a short, quick story about how anime has really helped my independence. Let's start off with the first time anime has helped me gain my independence. Now, I didn't really. I liked outings. Me and my family used to do. We used to go to places like Silverwood Lake, Disneyland. All that was fun. Except when we got to Autotopia, and then my nerves would get the better of me. That's why I wasn't saying I need a car at 18. Um, so, uh, so when I was in 12th grade, yeah, I was 12th grade. Um, or there, 11th, 12th grade, something like that. I was in math class, and around that time, I was taking math, and there was the first Pokemon movie came out. You know, the one with Mew and all that, and I was a big Pokemon fan at the time. And so I was feeling down at the fact that we weren't really doing anything. We wouldn't leave the house. You know, I kept wondering, it's like, why aren't we leaving the house? Why aren't we going off and doing things, you know, we normally do? Go to outings, go to, just go out and do something. But my mom saying, oh, you know, then whatever she would say, she said, "Oh, we're gonna this later on later on in the year, like August or September, we're gonna go to Disneyland." That never happened. That was middle school or something like that. That was like 4 years prior, and we haven't done jack since. So I'm feeling very, very bored because all I had was home and school. That was it. I didn't really have friends, but I did like cartoons and movies and Japanimation, which is what it was called at the time. And I was noticing at the video store that there were two sections of animation. There was the anime section off to the side, and then there was the children's section over here by the center of the store. So I was kind of curious as to why are there two? Okay, yes, let's just focus over here. Yes. Fuck was that? It's like, all right. And so we we didn't go anywhere. So life was boring, and basically what had happened was that the Pokemon movie had come out, and I wanted to go see it that weekend. Now, you know how you visit family? Well, we visited family, and family has visited us before throughout the past. This has happened, so I know it's like, okay, people come here, the adults talk, and the kids just try to find that there's some part of that conversation at some point, or we go run off and play, or we watch a movie, or we do something else. So either we're engaged in the get together or we're not. Now, I've gone to enough family get togethers, not get togethers, but more of like we go off to visit somebody, for different occasions. And when we go to visit a new child, it's like kind of automatic. We go see this child. It's a thing. It's a spectacle. So I've done that. Problem is that when it's more of we are going to just go visit, kind of more on a not a non-holiday thing, it gets very, very boring. And it's not a knock against the relatives or anything like that. It's just that when you go to visit somebody, it's not me visiting them. It's my mom visiting them. We're her entourage. We are, we're dragged along saying, oh, and we're visiting, showing our respect, showing this and that. Yes, there's that, yes. But when it drags on for 4 hours and I'm just, this is it. This is what I do for 4 hours. Maybe watch cable while I'm there. Maybe have a small dialogue with one of the relatives. But that's it, I don't have a whole lot to say. We don't have a whole lot in common. I don't dislike them. It's like, well, what is there to say? I'm doing good in school. we could have maybe a 20-minute conversation where we cover everything in my life because my life is so fucking boring. And their lives are a lot more expensive. They always have more to say because, oh, we did this or we did that, or I just went for a drive yesterday and I came across something, or whatever. So they have more active lives than I do. And so when the Pokemon movie came out, my brother's son came. He was born, and my mom said, "Okay, this weekend, kind of more out of the blue, said we're gonna go this weekend, and we're gonna go and see him. We're gonna drive to from Rialto to Palm Springs." Yeah. So not only am I going to be bored on the drive over there, I'm going to be stuck there for a good 4 hours listening to my mom have a conversation and visit while I'm just sitting here. So I'm like, look, I've already made plans to go see this Pokemon movie this weekend. I plan to wait in line at 7 in the morning with a bunch of 12-year-olds. I was in my middle teens. I was like 16, 17 at the time. And, I plan on waiting with them. And she was annoyed by this, but I said, "Ma, I already made plans. I'm going to go see it. I was being firm about this. This is the beginning of my independence, where everyone kept saying, you should go out and do something yourself then." Okay, well, I'm going to go see a Pokemon movie. Well, we're going to go see Kane. It's like, I've already made plans. It's like, it's just like, it's like, what am I going to do? I already know what's going to happen in my head. I'm going to be bored. I'm going to be bored. I'm going to be bored. My visit can contest to a half an hour meeting these people, have a full, um, fledged meeting, visit, and be done because my life is just so boring. And what is there for me to say? What is there for me to do? You know? And it's just the same song and dance over and over and over again. And there are times where you just get tired of just being, your place is to sit there, be quiet while mom visits, So I went and I saw the Pokemon movie. And it was a blast. And I know I've had a lot more fun doing that than sitting on a couch listening to my mom, have a 4 hour conversation with my I guess my brother's girlfriend. Yeah. So, and my brother wasn't even there. So it, it's not that I didn't want to visit. The in-laws. Is just, look, we're going to see each other again. I know I'm going to see this kid again at some other point in my life. In the next few years. We'll see him at holidays and stuff, and we'll have get together and we'll have fun then. And I'll start talking to him when he learns to talk and all that. Little did I know, I'm going to be seeing a lot of this kid in the coming years. Immediately after that, for the next 4 years, when I graduated from high school and got a job, I babysat this kid for like 2 years, a lot. It got to the point where I started teaching him his first word, which was baka. It means idiot in Japanese. Because it's the only word I knew in Japanese. And I was bored out of my skull, so, And, this was early 2000s, 2001, 2002. No, 2001. No, 2000 and 2001. And the only way to get me out of the house and out of my high school and out of my job was to go, the only thing I would do is I would go to the mall or go to the video store and I would buy movies and rent movies and buy anime. And that's what I liked doing. It was fun. After the worst day I had at work, I went and I bought my first 2 DVDs, which was Burn Up, the TV series, the first TV series, and Macross, the movie edition, And after watching that, it was just the highlight of my year, just to watch that. And then I heard about Anime Expo, and I'm just lit up. It's like, I gotta see this. But I didn't know how to get there. and I had to drag my mom with me the first time because her friend, this guy friend, knew how to get there. So they made a luncheon out of it to take me to Long Beach Convention Center, where I was just like, it's like, hey, the guy dressed as Trunks, and there's other people, and there's this woman dressed as Cutie Honey with huge cleavage hanging out, and I'm like, should that be like that? Should she be doing that? Okay. And so I'm like, there's shelves of VHS tapes because DVDs haven't come out yet. That was in the next couple of years, but just shelves and shelves of it just everywhere, and it was reasonably cheap. Of course, I didn't have a whole lot of money. I had like maybe $20 on me, and I didn't know any of these titles. I barely recognized a handful of them because I knew only a small handful of them, so I didn't know what to buy. Um, but yeah, in the coming years, I relied lesser and lesser on people going. The last time I went with somebody was Barry, my friend from college, and we had good time together. It was a good little outing. It was a good little independent experience because that was we did. It was very little hands-off experience from the parents. Like they barely said, "Well, the website you want to go to is here to look for maps and stuff." So that was like the limit of that. Everything else was us. The money was us. The planning was us. The fact that Barry took a wrong turn and kept saying like we should be there already. It's like been 45 minutes, and it's like, oh, I thought you said this. Like, no, I said that. It's like, oh, sorry. Turn around and go down the proper highway. But other than that, it was smooth sailing. We did that like once and then twice the following year, something like that, in 2002, and we had a ball. It was fun. And then um, I started doing it independently for the continuation of the past like 15 years, going to cons, small cons, which I'll be doing next weekend, by the way, to Anime Festival and an AniFest. And so, and then when I went to Comic Con, I did that on a whim the day before leaving. I just said, I don't, I told my boss, I said, look, I'm not going to come in tomorrow. He said, fine. Um, and I'm allowed 6 days or whatever, and I told him I wasn't going to come in. So then I went down to the train station and bought a ticket that day for 4 a.m. the next morning to catch a train to San Diego from the San Bernardino train station. So after getting 2 hours of sleep, by being tormented and bitten a good number of times, like twice or whatever, by a mosquito, I had to make an oxygen tent out of my bedspread, out of my sheets, which worked very well and helps keep me cool in the summer, which I'll probably make a tutorial on someday. It's very, very easy. But my my mom's like, all afraid. It's like it gave me like $50 or something, and on top of whatever I had, and I got on my bike because I didn't have my car yet because that wasn't until 2004. This was 2002 or three, and I got on my bike, rode down, got on this small side road, got a flat tire, lugged my bike all the way through, almost getting run over on a bridge by like 4 semis because there's no sidewalk, nearly missing the train, got on the train, and our first stop was my hometown. Lesson learned. Hey, I thought that place was abandoned. I never saw a train pull up that train station whenever on the dozens of times I've ever been there at throughout my life. So again, little did I know. But then after that, it was fine, even though I had no clue where the hell the convention center was in relation to the train station was. Fortunately, one of the nice commuters in a nice suit said, "Oh, it's just 2 blocks down. It's not that far. I'm not goods. I can only lug my bike only so far before I was really fed up with it. Because I had a flat tire. And so we lugged it over there, locked it up, got in line, and had pretty much fun. People are nice, and they're hot chicks and cosplay and this and that, and I bought some minor anime, I ate food, and various other things, and it was fun. It was fun just having independence where it was just me. I win or fail. You know, I chose all the events, and win or fail, it was all on me. I lived and I learned, and so the next year I was more prepared. So with each con, how it all happens, I was more prepared. I was more this. I was more that, to the point where I swear to God, I got this down to a science. That's how good I became, and I made my tutorials. How to attend a con, how to survive an anime convention, how to do this and that. Let me give you a bit of advice if I haven't already. Do not buy food that's been put out by the vendor by the convention people themselves. That is a blatant rip-off. Period. I gave a lady $20 for 2 hot dogs. No, what? One hot dog. One hot dog. I didn't know the size, but I just said 1 hot dog, please. I gave her. No, it was 2. It was 2. Because I gave her a 20, and she gave me back like 6 and change. I'm like, but I gave you a 20. How does a 20 for 2 hot dogs come back as, like 5 and some change? It's like, oh, yeah, that's 2 hot dogs. You can see on your receipt right there. They're $7 each for not a full hot dog, not a regular hot dog. Those dinky little hot dogs, those thin ones, the ones that you give to small children, and those are like $7, and I'm like, you could see it on your receipt, and it's like, yes, I see, I'm being completely ripped off. It's like, yes, I can tell I'm being ripped off, yes. And then I grabbed the hot dogs and then I left. And then I went and got a full hot dog with everything on it from the nice vendors outside, the people who are independent, who are just there to make a buck, who aren't in cahoots with the convention center. Convention center food is expensive. You could go out to the food trucks, and get something for a decent price. You have to cross the street, and it's a bit far. You have to walk and stuff. But man, those convention people that work, on the grounds of the convention center, that was just expensive. Oh, well. Or you could do the cheap route and just go to 7-Eleven and pick up all your food there. And just put it in aluminum foil or whatever have you. But yeah, no. Yeah, so. And I like 7-Eleven hot dogs. They're good. That's what I've basically been living on for the past 7 years. So it's not very healthy. Starting to put on weight now. Yes, there was a time when I was scarily anorexic. Probably not as bad as Captain America in his origin movie, but you can kind of see my ribs. Anyway. So basically, anime and anime conventions basically help with my independence, because I don't know where to go, what to do, what I'm interested in too much. But when there's something you want, and you want it, bad enough, you'll go see it. Like, I had a stomach ache, and I went and saw Spike Spencer at a convention, and was his aide for like all of 5 minutes. I could barely get across the room, but I forced myself down there. I helped lug food and like groceries and stuff into the convention, I managed to attend the 2 days. I managed to do stuff because strength of will, you know, and I'm glad because it was a test of myself, test of my resolve, test of my will and everything. So I know I have the will to achieve because I did all this other stuff. It wasn't just working hard at my job. It was going, do something that only benefits me personally, not financially. Definitely not me financially. But yeah. So this is how anime helped with my independence. So I hope this story has helped, and I will be seeing you at the conventions.